How do you stack up with these two markers of health and wellness, being hungry and being horny? Welcome to the R.Y.S.E Movement Podcast, a place where men just like you learn to raise your standards everywhere. Welcome to another episode of the R.Y.S.E Movement Podcast. I'm Dave, and tonight, like I said, we're talking all about the appetite for food and the appetite for something else. The reason why I bring this up for health and wellness is because these are two critical aspects to know if you're actually healthy and well off. How hungry do you get on a day-to-day basis? If your appetite is not on, it is not firing, you have some issues that you need to look at. You might need to look at insulin sensitivity, you might need to look at how much calories you're getting, different macronutrient profiles, so on and so forth. But basically that should be a very good indicator into your metabolic and just overall health and wellness. Are you actually hungry for food? And the same thing comes to your libido, your life force, the sex transmutation energy that's spoken about in the amazing book, Think and Grow Rich, and really studying whether you actually have libido that is of high energy or whether you've just got high libido to be able to distract you to get that quick dopamine fix. Those two markers, above anything else, really determine the quality of life that you have as a man. You should happily wake up bounding out of bed with a full-on erection. That is the peak for testosterone in the day. You should wake up not only with a giant erection, but you should wake up with excitement and anticipation to get into your day and also to eat food. These topics that are taboo unless you're, Andrew Huberman talking from his place of authority, they're massive aspects of a man's life that people just don't talk about. Yeah, they talk to death, hunger, they talk to death, metabolism, calories in, calories out, and all the different things that comes from there. However, a bloke's libido really determines how good you actually feel. I've got a bit of a story at the moment. A client of mine, he has done all the things. He's trained really, really hard, eaten food properly, and he's gotten a lot of muscle growth out of it. However, his secondary goal to putting on size and getting fit and stuff like that was to lose the excess body weight that he put on from being sedentary for so long. This period of training with me, dieting with me, doing all the things, mindset-wise, all the things, has been on and off with surgeries and work-related stuff, about 14 months in the making. He then got to a point where I couldn't help him anymore. All of my tools and tricks and changes and everything that I did was not yielding a result, is not allowing him to lose body fat as easy as it once was. So then I said, okay, there's a few things going on. Let's have a look at all the pieces of the puzzle. He's been battling an injury, lethargy, can't lose weight, just no energy, no libido, just tired all the time, struggles in the gym. Like, he was starting to show some signs. I'd seen these signs many before because I've been a trainer for over 12 years now. So I sent him to a doctor. The doctor had a list of things that I wanted him to be checked for. So, usual blood workup, so on and so forth. But I specifically asked for testosterone, estriadal, free testosterone, sex hormone binding globulin, FSH, TSH. I asked for his thyroid, even though thyroid's kind of irrelevant for his energy. That's kind of linked. Anyway, basically I asked for a full blood panel because I've worked with a couple of endocrinologists to be able to help my clients get results when it comes to hormone replacement therapy. So my client, he went to the doctors, asked for the blood test, and she yelled at him and berated him, and he ended up not getting it from her the first time. He had to go back after my insistence to say, hey, look, there's some stuff going wrong. We need to get this sorted. So long story short, he's finally using some stuff thanks to an endocrinologist specialist clinic here on the Gold Coast, and I can help him get the results that he wants. For 15 years, he reckons, his energy and libido and everything else has been super, super low. He's been super stressed out with work, stressed out in his relationship, not getting the results that he wants, ups and downs of mental health, all these sorts of things. And none of the doctors decided to check for his overall sexual health. And I'm not talking about STDs or anything like that. I'm talking about his libido. I'm talking about testosterone. I'm talking about his fucking male essence, his life force to go out into the world and to succeed. It's really frustrating that I've had to deal with this time and time again. I've had another couple of clients from years and years ago, one that sadly passed away in 2016. He was a good bloke. But like, I've worked with so many guys that I've said, okay, you need to, like, I've done on my part. I've made sure I've ticked off as many things as I can. I can get you to lose body fat, but it's going to come, having to be in a severe calorie deficit, much more severe than we're currently doing. So I then send them off. I refer them off to doctors to go to their GPs and get a referral to an endocrinologist or, like an anti-aging doctor or something like that. This has happened so many damn times. Doctors do not check your testosterone levels. So in Australia, our natural testosterone range goes between a couple of different scales depending on the lab that does the results. So it's either 9 to 36, 10 to 32, and I've seen one that was 8 to 30. So they're all like, there's a big spectrum there. And the difference between 8 and 36 is astronomical in numbers because I used to use steroids in my 20s. So knowing what I know about my bloods and my interpretations from working with doctors like Dr. Michael Bellich or what was that other endocrinologist I went and saw? I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but working with these doctors, I know what my bloods do. I can interpret it my own stuff. And so whenever I have a client that I have a look at their bloods, obviously I'm just a personal trainer and all I have is anecdotal evidence. However, I want to give my clients results. I want to make sure that I can help them so that I refer on to doctors and stuff like that. It sucks that we have to go all the way to get to a fucking specialist to be able to figure out just a simple thing from a bulk build medical blood test. Anyway, can't remember where I was going with that. I've lost my train of thought, but I'm going to jump on to getting help with a bit of assistance. So you don't have to jump all the way into the deep end and get prescribed testosterone replacement therapy. However, that's up to your doctor. The thing that I would say, if you aren't having a high libido, aren't waking up with an erection, aren't having, that zest and, animosity to get into life, that you just want to fucking grab it and just rip it apart and, just succeed to the highest of your capabilities, to the highest of your potential, which we always talk about is unlimited in nature. You don't have to go all the way to that degree. There's things that you can scale. It's like, there's things you can escalate with. So level 1, eat better food. Level 2, tack on some better sleep. 3, manage stress. 4, hydrate better. 5, make sure you're not having late nights, early mornings. Stay off social media, stay off devices. Don't buy into stress. Don't buy into any of the geopolitical bullshit, and just, do your best to stay psychologically, emotionally, spiritually well. That's like bottom rung. You get that shit right and your body's gonna be pretty good. After that, if you want a bit of a boost, there's plenty of stuff on the market to be able to give you that boost. So I would look to things like ashwagandha. I would look to, you can go with the old fenugreek, jump into tribulus. What else is there that's legal and herbal? That's all I can think of off the top of my head. From there, you can step up a little bit as well. So there's a website that you can go and get some research compounds. And I'm using this term very, very loosely. I'm not going to tell you what the website is, although I do have a very good discount code for it, but I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to get in trouble. You'll be able to find it if you know the right avenues. Basically, peptides. Peptides are in this weird classification at the moment. Do your own research. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I've got to put this disclaimer here and say that this is just random advice from some idiot on the internet. I have used peptides. I use them with my endocrinologist. I use them with a different hormone doctor. I use them with Michael Bellich. I've used them with so many people, yielding different results depending on the compounding pharmacy regarding on dosages and everything like that. Everything is individual, run with you by your doctor. Okay, that's a big piece that I want to say here. However, there's this weird gray area in Australia where peptides, SARMs and stuff like that are classified in their own little category of research particles. Research particles, what are they? They're under research, so they're not for human consumption. Do with that what you want. From there, you can step up, and I know you can still grab them in America. I'm not saying to go do this, but there's things called prohormones. Then you go all the way up to steroids, going through your derivatives of testosterone and your growth hormone and stuff like that. There is so many steps that you can take this. Please start with the bottom stuff. Start with the right diet, the right sunlight, the right sleep, the right training, the right sex, just the right life. Remove as much technology away from you, remove as much stress away from you as possible, and then you're going to be pretty sorted. And then If you need to escalate, please do so. Look after your libido, look after your sex energy. That stuff is fucking powerful. And if it's low, you have no libido, you struggle with energy and stuff like that, you can do something about it. Please don't just settle for what you're sitting with. Okay, so let's move on to hunger. Food hunger. When it comes to being hungry or being satiated, depends on a few different variables. So the first one I want to talk about is stress. When it comes to being satiated from stress, you can't actually be satiated because you need to be able to release leptin to be able to be satiated. But that's a whole other topic conversation. Where we're going to come from when it comes to stress is all about decreasing the amount of distress in your environment and increasing the amount of eustress. And I'm pretty sure eustress is EUE stress. Okay, don't quote me. It's been a while since I've learnt about that topic. So distress versus eustress. Eustress is self-governed, self-initiated, and inspired. And the thing with inspire, to breathe in, to bring purpose and meaning and impact into your life through the breath, through going out into the world to create purpose and meaning. Okay, it's really important that you're inspired and that you're living from this place of purpose. Once you get into this place of purpose and meaning and you start bringing more and more eustress on your shoulders, you can handle more, you get more life force, you get more energy, and just more compounds on more. When you're in distress and dysregulation, disharmony, all the disses that come along, you end up suppressing yourself. You suppress your potential, you suppress your ability, capabilities, your confidence, everything gets suppressed or disrupted because you're not taking care of yourself. Now, where stress and hunger comes in is when you're releasing all of the stress hormones, so, epinephrine, adrenaline, cortisol, all these sorts of things are going to stop signaling to ghrelin to be released. So ghrelin is the hunger hormone. This is getting a bit technical, but I want to give you guys a good foundation to be able to understand why your body's doing what it's doing. So from there, when you have all of those things going rampant, you're not going to be hungry because your body is going to be signaling to the amygdala, we are in fight, flight, freeze, we are in parasympathetic nervous system. This is not a good place to be able to eat, so don't turn that back online. Have you ever noticed that after you've been through a really hard workout or you've been stressed out or anything like that, you can't eat properly and it kind of sits in your gut, sits really high? There's a reason for that. Your body's not starting the digestion process because your body's stressed out. So start with the body. Lower your stress, lower your distress, and increase the eustress. Become inspired, become fulfilled, become purposeful in your life. Then for hunger, when you have all of that stuff going on, you don't have to worry about it because your body's going, hey, get me some food because we need to keep this thing going. We need to make sure that we're moving, shaking, and moving towards that North Star. That North Star that we always talk about, having that clear direction where you're moving towards. It's so important that you have these two aspects of health and wellness taken care of, because if you don't, you have no life force left. Those two are so tightly interwound. So tightly interwound. Think about it, all that we had a couple of thousand years ago when we were hunter-gatherers. You only knew those instincts. You only knew food and reproduction. Yeah, you wanted to avoid pain, avoid predators, so on and so forth. But realistically, life came down to those two things. Have sex and eat food. And when one of them wasn't going on, you were thinking about the other. And then when the other was satisfied, you switched. And if it wasn't for either of those two, you were thinking about get to the next day, get to the next meal, get to the next kid. That's what life was. So these two instincts inside of ourselves, they're coming from deep within our soul, deep within our being, deep within our fucking lineage. So if you don't have adequate hunger and adequate libido, you need to get on top of that really quickly. The best way to do it, like I said, start with the body. And that's enough for today. That's enough for tonight. I'm going to go sit and listen to one of my favorite bands that I just can't get over at the moment, Sleep Token. I've been re-listening to their initial song. What is that song? It is The Night Does Not Belong to God, and then Euclid back to back. They're so gorgeous. Anyway, a nice little caveat for you guys. And I also got tickets to go see them with Bring Me the Horizon and Make Them Suffer in Brisbane next year, which I'm stoked about. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. Much love, guys. If you need anything, please message me, email me at dave@risemovement.com.au. And until I see you guys in the next one, much love. Cheers. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for subscribing and leaving a review. It really helps us out. Until next time, take care and much love.